Hi guys. So I'm back with part 2 of my crafty thingy journal, my idea journal that I'm working on. And last time I showed you how I assemble my signatures, and I said that I would put washi tapes and do some stitching and all that kind of stuff. So I did. Just showing you just a little bit, some washies and some stitching. So when the journal is finished, I will go through all the signatures too, but for now I'm just going to set this apart, and we're going to work on the cover because the signatures need to go in somewhere. So what I've done was I had a box of cookies. Yeah, let me zoom out a bit. I had a box of cookies. So I cut it into the right size, and I also have two chipboard, cardboard, what is it, gray board, that I'm gonna put on top, because for the spine I have fabric. So I just have this this piece of little fabric that I stitched, and because the binding, the sewing of the signatures will be on the cookie box, but I will cover it with the fabric, and I'm gonna put all kinds of layers on it, and I'm gonna use the sewing machine. I will not do that on camera because, believe me guys, you don't want to hear me when I'm sewing, so that's not a good idea. Yeah, so I'm gonna like layer all these things, and I'm gonna, you don't need to use the sewing machine because you can use fabric glue, but for me, I want to become a bit of friends with my sewing machine. So I just need to practice and get to know the machine. So that's why I'm gonna sew everything on. But first we're gonna set that apart, and we're gonna use some wallpaper. So I cut it down to size, kind of, sort of, and I have one big piece for the cookie box, and then two pieces for the chipboard. There's the other piece. So that's the first thing that we're gonna do. We're gonna attach the fabric, or the wallpaper, to the to the basics, to the gray board and the box. I'm not sure what type of glue I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna try Mod Podge. And this is gonna come on the inside, because this will be the inside of the cover. The printed side you're not gonna see, but that you will see in a bit. So I will have to put some Mod Podge on here. Okay, so I'm back and I forgot something, guys. Just because I was so struggling with these brads, I forgot to sew in my signatures. Yeah. So first thing that we need to do, because I don't want to see the binding, I want to attach it to this part. So that's why is this the front? This is the front. I think this is the front. Yeah, so because of that, we need to put that aside. Okay, like this. And we need to make holes in the cookie box. Yep, that's what we need to do. So I made a template, which I usually do. I measure up this part of the spine and the inside, and I make a similar piece like this. That way you can never go wrong. Then what I do is count the amount of signatures I have. In this case I have 3, and so that means that we have to make 3 lines within the signature. So if this within the spine, so if this is the spine, I'm gonna measure just to make it look even. So what I did in this case, I took 1 centimeter on the one side, 1 centimeter from the other side to the inside, and I put a dot. Then I measured the inside and divided it into 2. So that means that you will get a similar distance with between the holes that you're going to make. And same in the bottom, same in the middle. So 1 centimeter from the one side, 1 centimeter from the other side, and then measure again from the dots that you made and divide into 2. Then you have your third. So then I made lines like this, and then I decided where do I want to bind them. So you're not going to go all the way to the edge, you're going to go a little bit into the middle. So this was 17 centimeters. So I took 2 centimeters from this side, 2 centimeters from the other side, and then measured again from the one dot to the other how much it was. So 17, I took 2 for here, 15 for this one, and then I had about 13 left, like this, 13 centimeters. So I put it in 6.5 in the middle. And that's the template you're gonna make. So what I do, I line it up. As well as you can. You find the middle. And you're just gonna make the holes where you already have them. So now I am left, I don't know if the camera is gonna, no, it doesn't show. Now I see these punctures, so this way I had to detach one side, but now I have the punctures for the signature holes where I can bind them. I'm just making them a bit bigger so that my needle and the thread can go through. Like this. So now I put this aside for a bit. Now I need another paper which has the same size of the template that I just made. So this is also 17 centimeters. And I fold it in half like this. In half. And then within the crease, I take the same measurements. So 2 from the top and 2 from the bottom. So which was 2 centimeters and 15 centimeters. Then from this point to the other one was 13. So I put the other one in 6.5. Now this one you're gonna need to make the holes in your signatures. Otherwise you cannot see them. So what I usually do, this is, well, it's a bit bigger than the signatures, but I put them in the middle. Now in this case it's a bit difficult because my papers don't all have the same size, so I'm making it a bit difficult for myself. I just take a couple of pages, smaller one, bigger one, and that's why you always have to stay a bit from the top of your template, because if you have smaller pages, smaller size, then you will have a problem. So now I put it in the crease of the signatures, and I use this book so that I can press them between. Press it in between so that, you know, it's easier to find the crease of all the pages. So just making it a bit bigger. Then I put these aside and I go on to the next few pages. Now if you are a beginner, trust me, you would want to use same size of papers, because that way it's a bit easier if you're doing it for the first time. But yeah, I've done it many times now, so I'm okay. So pressing it in the crease of the book and making my holes. And then making them a bit bigger for my needle. Hey. Like this. And like that. So I put these there. And I go on to my last few pages. And it still smells like coffee. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you the first signature, how I do it. I'm not gonna bother you with all the 3 signatures, because that will be a bit too much, and if you want to see it again, just rewind. Where's my needle? Needle! Here's my needle. So this is just a simple pamphlet stitch. Let me see, this was the front. And some thread. I use these wax threads. And to measure it, to make sure that you have enough, I just go like 1, 2, 3, and just some extra. So that way I know I have enough. But yeah, that's, you know, up to anyone. That's your own choice, how much you want to have left. I like to have something in the middle of the signatures. Yeah, so you start in, I had to think, it's been a while. You start in the middle of your signature. So you're just gonna put all the papers together. Let me zoom out a bit. Out. Yes. Like this. Okay. So what I do, I go to the middle of the signature. In this case, it's a paper bag. And I go through all of the holes one by one. So one, another one, next one. That way you know you will have the right hole and you will not stick, rip your paper. Okay. So the last one. Okay. I pull the needle through and I leave like a part of the thread. So now I have my first signature. I check where my front is, and I'm gonna go into the first line of holes that I have, and I'm going in the middle. Now, because it's partly attached, this is not really the best way to show you. Sorry about that. Need to make sure that I don't pull. Yeah, like this. So I'm just oh, every time I want to show something on camera. Okay. So you pull and you hold this thread. That way you know you have enough of the thread still left. Now you go to the next hole on top. So you are in the middle, but you're going back to the top. And you pull it through. Now you're gonna find the holes on the top in all your papers, which is a bit tricky. And you have to do that a bit carefully if you have thinner papers like me. But if you make the holes wide enough, they are easy to find. So just gonna pull this through to make sure that I have these down already, and then I go to the last ones like this. Now a good thing is to keep the thread that you have in the middle to hold it if you can, and otherwise put a clip. That could be handy too. And then you go to the bottom. So I just turn it around because it's a bit easier to work with. And then I go through all the papers again. And then you're going to find the bottom hole. Shit. Sorry. Okay, stick it through. Grab that one thread back. That was already in the middle. And just... I'm sorry, I had to change the battery. So, what I was saying, you just have to pull your thread down totally. I'm just gonna get rid of these strings. Then we're gonna move on because you're going through the same hole in the middle where you started. And so here is the thread. You're going through the same hole and all the holes of the paper. And so you're going to go through all the papers, and usually I do it one by one to make sure I have the right hole. And so I don't rip the paper like I said before. So this is how it looks. It's a bit difficult to... So there is the needle. So gently you pull both of the ropes of the threads, both of them. Gently you pull, and you can check on the outside if everything is tight. So in this case it's tight. So I'm just going to take my needle out and tie it down. Make a double knot. Like this, and then I cut it off. So okay, I have some string left, but you can use those for putting through the tags, or you know. So this is one signature. So I will do the rest, and then I'll come back. Okay guys, so I am back. And I did attach everything while I was not on camera because it's just a bit to do. So wait, let me zoom out. I'm going to show you what I did. So this is how it's looking right now. That's the spine with all the fabrics, and the front and the back. So I attached these again, and also on the other side, instead of gluing it, I put some brads here too. And for the closure, I made these ribbons. So I attached them with some textile glue and put a clamp on it so it can dry. And that's what I have up till now. So it's not finished yet. I'm gonna something's gonna come here where I can put pictures, and here, and of course we need to hide these things, and you know, still need to do some stuff. And I'm thinking of decorating this with some beads. I have some nice looking colors that I like, because I like the reddish look in here. So I have some beads here. So some brown and some red, you know, so like this. So I think that would look nice. So I'm just gonna think about how I'm gonna do that. It's getting a bit dark, so I have to stop filming as it is. So we're gonna continue this some other time. So I'll be back when I'm back. Thank you.